A Woman of No Importance is the last play that Oscar Wilde wrote before he went to prison. All of his plays were very successful, but the play just before it, which was The Importance of Being Earnest, was a crazy hit, and it was really funny, and it really made fun of society, and society loved watching themselves on stage. And with this play, it seemed to me that Wilde was trying to take what had worked really beautifully in Earnest, but go deeper and go further with it and take it into a more dramatic place. And in fact, it feels like a play that's in transition to becoming a modern drama. He was always a writer that talked about the mask you wear in society and then the person you are beneath it. And I think A Woman of No Importance really takes that theme on in an interesting way, because everyone in the play at some level has a secret. Wilde was an amazing feminist.
Men are so very, very heartless. They know their power and use it.
The thing to do is to keep men in their proper place.
Ah, but what is their proper place, Lady Caroline?
Just before this, in the 1880s, he had edited a women's magazine and really worked to shift it away from just hat ribbons and what you serve your guests to talking about women's lives. You see a real kaleidoscope of women's experience in this play. So Michael Gianfrancesco and I, the designer, started looking at where else we might be able to sit this story. The reason we landed on the 50s is that after the Second World War in England, the conservative government came back in. There was a kind of a reset button pushed where everybody wanted things to go back to the way they were, especially the upper classes. They wanted to go back to the notion of empire and power and control. And so consequently, women's clothes became loose in the 30s and then masculine in the 40s. But in the 50s, they went right back to cinched-in waists and very feminine, differentiated genders. The women were really women and the men were really men. So it's opulent, it's sexy, it's elegant, and it's true. I think that's the main thing for me that keeps coming up in rehearsal is even when people are being funny or mean, they're always telling the truth. And I think that's one of the things that Oscar Wilde was both celebrated for and ultimately condemned for. What Oscar Wilde gives us are people, really exciting people. People that you go, I want to go to a party with that person. The actors are finding the connections that make them into those people. And I have an amazing, amazing cast of actors. I mean, that's the beauty of working here at the Shaw Festival, because the actors I get to work with, honestly, I don't know, I feel like the luckiest director on the planet. And so we just have this incredible group of talented people. They've all done Oscar Wilde plays before, so they know how the epigrammatic wit has to work, and they're very text savvy actors, and yet they're all physically free and ready to play. We're spending a lot of time finding the play within it. One of the things I discovered in working on this play, reading other works by Oscar Wilde, was there's a parallel in it to The Picture of Dorian Gray, his famous novel. In Dorian Gray, the story goes to what happens when evil in a person's life is allowed to take over. And what he did with this play is he is actually examining what happens when love is allowed to drive a person's life. That is a hard idea in our society. We're a cynical group of people, and the people in the play around Mrs. Arbuthnot are very cynical as well. But yet, inside of that, there is this beautiful story of love, and it's the love of a mother for her son. And I think that to me is the thing that makes it transformative. It makes it surprising, and it makes it beautiful.